In the early 13th century, a storm began brewing on the Mongolian steppes that would reshape the entire world. Within a single lifetime, nomadic horsemen would carve out the largest contiguous land empire in human history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the gates of Vienna. This is the story of the Mongol Empire, a tale of unprecedented conquest, brilliant strategy, and inevitable decline. Our story begins with a boy named Temujin, born around 1162 into a fractured world of competing Mongol tribes. After his father was poisoned when Temujin was just 9 years old, his family was abandoned by their clan and left to survive on the harsh steppes. The boy who should have died in obscurity instead forged alliances, united rival clans through a combination of charisma and ruthlessness, and by 1206 was proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler of all the Mongol tribes. What made Genghis Khan different from countless other steppe warlords? He transformed the Mongols from loosely organized tribes into a disciplined military machine. He promoted leaders based on merit rather than bloodline, organized his army into efficient units of tens, hundreds, and thousands, and implemented a code of laws called the Yasa that unified his people. But most importantly, he understood something fundamental. The Mongols' greatest strength was their mobility. Mongol warriors were born in the saddle. They could ride for days without rest, shoot arrows with deadly accuracy while galloping at full speed, and coordinate complex maneuvers across vast distances. When they attacked, it seemed like they came from everywhere at once. Between 1207 and 1227, Genghis Khan led campaigns that conquered northern China, Central Asia, and Persia. Cities that resisted were utterly destroyed as warnings to others. Those that surrendered were often incorporated peacefully into the empire. It was a calculated strategy of terror and mercy that proved devastatingly effective. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, he had conquered more territory than any leader before him, but his empire was just beginning. Under Genghis Khan's successors, the empire reached its zenith. His grandson, Kublai Khan, completed the conquest of China and established the Yuan Dynasty. Other grandsons pushed into Russia, the Middle East, and even attempted invasions of Japan and Southeast Asia. By 1279, the Mongol Empire stretched across 24 million square kilometers, roughly the size of Africa. But the Mongols proved to be more than just conquerors. They established the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace and stability across Eurasia. The famous Silk Road flourished under Mongol protection, connecting east and west like never before. Merchants, missionaries, and adventurers like Marco Polo could travel from Europe to China with unprecedented safety. Ideas, technologies, and goods flowed across continents. Chinese engineers helped them build siege weapons. Persian scholars advised their courts. This cultural exchange accelerated innovation across Eurasia. But empires built by the sword often struggle to maintain themselves through peace. The very size of the Mongol Empire became its weakness. Communication across such vast distances was slow, making centralized control nearly impossible. After Kublai Khan's death in 1394, the empire began to fragment into separate khanates: the Golden Horde in Russia, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Yuan Dynasty in China. These khanates increasingly acted independently, sometimes even warring with each other. The Mongols also faced a fundamental challenge. They were a tiny minority ruling over vast conquered populations. As they settled into administrative roles, they began to lose their martial edge. In China, the Mongols adopted Chinese customs. In Persia, they converted to Islam. The very adaptability that had helped them rule now diluted their unique identity. The collapse came from multiple directions. In 1368, the Chinese Ming dynasty overthrew Mongol rule and drove them back to the steppes. The Golden Horde weakened through internal conflicts and gradually dissolved by the early 1500s. The Ilkhanate in Persia collapsed into warring factions by the 1350s. The Black Death, which the Mongols may have inadvertently spread along trade routes, devastated populations throughout their territories and disrupted the stability they had created. By 1500, the unified Mongol Empire was a memory. Various Mongol states lingered. The Crimean Khanate survived until 1783, but the age of Mongol dominance was over. From rise to fall, the Mongol Empire's story spans barely 150 years of true unity, yet its impact resonates through history. The Mongols demonstrated that disciplined cavalry could conquer sedentary civilizations. They created the conditions for unprecedented cultural and technological exchange between East and West. They reshaped the political map of Eurasia in ways that influence modern nations. Perhaps most ironically, an empire built on destruction became a conduit for connection. The same routes used for conquest became highways for commerce and culture. The terror of the Mongol invasions gave way to the prosperity of the Pax Mongolica, however briefly. The Mongol Empire reminds us that history's greatest empires are often built on the vision of singular individuals, sustained by institutional innovation, and inevitably undone by the forces of distance, diversity, and time. From the steppes of Mongolia, Genghis Khan and his descendants proved that even the smallest peoples can reshape the world, but holding on to what you've conquered is always harder than the conquest itself.